Old Nashville Binksley's back. We're out in the creek today. And he found a broke earlier. He just scored upon that little doodad right there. Like a little Hopewell point. Made I just see chirp. Pick her up. Let's check her out. Heck yeah. Nice little creek find. You betcha. Look at that. Kill shot for some Pine Belt relic boys. Killer. Alright, we're going to keep after it. Well, besides Nashville, we got some Alabama guests too. He found like a first stage preform earlier. And he just spotted this dude laying there. Looked like a little blunt.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. Killer.
Smoking blunt.
Sweet. And she's getting her first full day in the creek. She loves it, don't you? He just spotted him a preform. Real pretty one too. Looks like it's nicely made, good and thin. Heck yeah. It's always good to have company come and actually be able to find something.
Sweet.
And I just spotted one back here, right where he found that, but boy, he was excited. He couldn't contain himself, so figured I better go show the pickup anyways. And over here's one underneath my hat. You saw the in situ, of course, and it's missing the tip, but dang, look how pretty that is, would you? Missing a little shoulder too. Well, that's still pretty, and you know it's a little glowy, but boy, shame it's missing that little bit of tip. That's a pretty point. Well, we got a lot of gravel left. Hello, hello, hello. Picked this up a little ways back. Got like a pinkish, partially broke preform right there. Like what I would call a first stage preform. And I'm almost back to the boat. And then, see, I get in the boat and I go downstream and pick Richard up. That's what he do. He dropped me way back there, and I walk some bank till I come in the boat, and then I'm gonna pick him up. And I seen that from way over there. Just missing a little bit of tip too. Well, I seen that base. I thought, oh man, there's a dovetail laying up there. But it ain't. Oh no. Hank sure feels kind of ground. But it ain't. Probably it's like a nice Gibson has that Apple Creek look to it too, but I'd hate to call it that. Probably just a really nice Gibson. But like normal, we don't care what it is. They all need rescued. Thank you, Great Spirit. She's been hunting frogs over there in the mud puddle. She sounds like she's a little piglet over there going. What are you doing, Miss Muddy Face? What are you doing? Where are you going? He's going to hide out in the shade. Oh, gee, it seems like it's been forever. Here comes Richard, the hook master. Comes Muddy Face. I'm gonna break that killer tip right off of there.
All right.
About time.
Boy, look at that tip.
I know, right?
Man, that's a nice one. Thin to win. Awesome. It's about time you broke our silence.
I know it. We've been up here quite a few times. Gone through a lot of dirt and ain't found much of nothing but some brokes till today.
Till today.
And we just said these were going to be our last screens. We was going to get out of here. Look at that face. Jersey, Jersey, Jersey girl.
Alright, well, hopefully we'll get one more off the
Man.
patchworky screen. Or maybe, well, Mike might get another one off his, you never know.
That'd be nice.
I don't think you can.
I'll be happy right here.
Except for Jersey, maybe.
Out here by my garden, trying to catch the last little bit of daylight. Not a whole lot out there. There's 2 Mr. Stripey tomato plants. And then I got 2 Cherokee purples. And then there's where's a finger at? And there's 2 banana peppers. And then 3 zucchini. I gotta get that pile of junk up right there. And then till that up a little bit more, and then plant her carrots, Jersey's carrots in it. Boy, 2020 sure has been a slow start. It turned out to be a chaotic year too. A lot of chaos to 2020 so far. A shame humanity has to be that way. Nice tool, or like a rough bullnose adze. The other day when me and Hook were out surface hunting, and this killer little Gibson right here, man, it was like super translucent too. If I get the camera and sunlight, everything to work just right. I mean, there's just one little spot in it, like right in here. You can see the shadow of my finger where it's not translucent, just right down here, a little bit in the base. That thing's killer. Well, but that tip would have been like glass probably. Probably the thinnest Gibson I've ever found too. It's pretty nice. Almost wanted to call it something different, but I'm pretty sure it's definitely a Gibson. Oh, killer material too. Then it seemed like it'd been forever since we been able to screen dirt. Seems like it rains. There for a while it was raining once every 3 days, it seemed like, twice a week. But never enough rain to really give a big flood, which, oh yeah, I don't have that point I found in the creek. That was my buddy Chris Binkley that come up from Nashville, and he brought his best friend Brad from Alabama and his brother Jeremy, and they hunted for 2 days. I took them to the creek, and I give them all some rocks to go home with, but I ended up giving Brad that point that I had found in the creek. And it's about kind of like that, a little bit of tip missing. And so I don't have it to show, but I always enjoy my buddy Chris. He's a heck of a guy. And those 2 fellas, boy, I'll tell you what. I mean, you'll meet, that's the thing about anywhere in life. You know, those boys are way from Alabama. Some of the, I mean, well-mannered, super nice guys. You know, they stay to themselves, kinda, but they still, you know, get around. But you're gonna meet bad people and good people in every walk of life. Every walk of life, every profession. It's just how it's life. It's some of it's terrible, it really is. Humanity has put its own self-demise on it, upon themselves for a long time. I really don't want to get into all that. It's just negative. Nice, really classic bullnose adze. Has the flat end opposite of the working end. Really nice mottled banded pattern Justity chert. This broken point. Had a whole bunch of other brokes, but I'll pack everything way out here. That's not an easy task to do sometimes. This little guy, I wish it would have had the other ear. It is a really wide side knot, so it's ground a little bit in there. Ground just a little bit right there on that ear. And then the other ear has been anciently gone. Almost makes me want to call it a Graham cave, but it ain't. It's similar to those types. It's just with this piffy end of the material. It's a little rough on the base. Oh, it seemed like it'd been forever since pulling out a killer off of the screen. And this thing, man, look at this tip on this point. Just a killer tip. What I like about this point is it so much story to it. Real nice piece of Just City. Well, actually it's a really rough piece of Just City chert. Oh, see these blade edges? This thing has such heavy wear usage. This blade edges feels like basil grinding off of a Dalton or something. Which I have a lot of other points like that. Heck, I check every one of my broken tips for stuff like that. It comes down to about that edge, and then right there, you can tell they didn't use it much, and they definitely didn't use that edge right there. But this was made by a skilled napper in ancient times. Got some nasty hinges on it. Big old stack, real piffy material. Would have been a tough piece of material to work with, I'm sure. But he still made a nice, usable point knife out of it and got plenty of use out of it. I mean, look at all the hinges on this side. Right up in there. It took a good quality napper, whether he was 20 or 30 years old, to get that point out. You know, and the only thing I'm going to say about all that crazy chaos that's going on, you know, is humanity's just always been terrible upon itself. It really is sad, especially with the technology that we have today and the way we can easily communicate, and people just seek to use a negative plus a negative doesn't equal positive. You know, it's like racism. Racism's always been bred in to the human gene code for too long, you know. And that's racism to more than just skin color, you know, skin color, which goes with people's nationalities, you know, the way they talk or the way they dress, whether they're straight or whether they're gay, you know, whether they're religious or they're not religious. I mean, people hate on each other for all different kinds of reasons, and it's just terrible. And this was a gift from some company I had yesterday. My buddy Travis, Coffell. And actually, he's pretty new to hunting, but he's pretty known for his killer Clovis he found out of ellipsoidal Just City chert. I mean, it's a killer. These 2 points are from his nephew. His nephew is 15 years old. He's a self-taught napper, which I'm assuming, like a lot of self-taught nappers nowadays, he started by watching YouTube videos. He uses nothing but raw material to his local area of Missouri. And I tell you what, for 15 years old, he's phenomenal. I mean, when he's gets to be 25, 30, he's going to be like another Ken Wallace, Paleo Man 52, Mike Cook, Freddie Epperson, you know. And those guys are well skilled in age, you know. and it took a lot of years to get there. But that's the thing, everybody's learning abilities is so different from one another. Some people learn faster than another person at something. Everybody has a different knack. It's just terrible to see all the hate that goes on in the world. The hate in our own nation. It doesn't fix anything. This is like a killer paleo-ish type point. I guess he was trying to like resemble a Clovis. Big old flute on this side. Little short nubby one on that side. It's rated. Just a killer point. So I gotta say thanks to Corbin. You keep after it, buddy. That is awesome. Just awesome, thank you. I'll put that with my other ones I have from all my other YouTube buddies. You know, it's kind of like all the COVID stuff. I keep forgetting to mention it in the video on here, but of course we had to postpone our show, and trust me, that didn't bum anyone out more than what it did me. I can promise you that. That show is kind of like oh, I don't know, it's a big uplift for me. Usually coming out of that wintertime funk and all that, and you get to see all your friends and hang out and look at everybody's new rocks and their old rocks and talk, and we have people that come from out of town and stay, and we hang out and you know all that other good stuff. So I had a couple people ask me, you know, well, you can go ahead and have it. You know, our governor opened up our state on the 4th or whatever. Well, it really don't even have anything to do with that. I mean, it does, but not entirely, because it don't matter what government says. I always do what I think is right and wrong. I am no sheep to any system. Mike follows Mike, and that's about it. Well, of course, that's with the Great Spirit, who I consider the Great Spirit in my heart and soul, and I go from there. But you know, it's such a small show where we only have about 40 tables we rent. It's very important that all of our displayers show up, but it's also very important that we are fully accommodatable to all of our attendees. And that's the other thing. It's important that we have it during a time when we know all of our attendees will be able to show up, because we get people that come from all over the states, states far away, as far as Ohio and Florida and Alabama and Carolina. I mean, we get people from everywhere. Texas. We have for quite a long time, since I started putting our shows on YouTube. That's just a killer point. So it's like really important to us that we, you know, we're just waiting to postpone it into the fall. I mean, it's like some of those people that question that on Facebook didn't realize, you know, well, why they were at work, or the other person like me disabled, so their check's always in the mail. A lot of people have been out of work, so a lot of people have been financially strained, and it is important that we are able to get everyone to come as possible. I mean, normally I don't worry about stuff like that, but it is for our show. And it's not just for us. It's so everyone who is displaying is getting people. The more people that come to see their stuff, you know, there's a lot of aspects into that. It's kind of like a lot of aspects into the chaos, you know. Racism is terrible. Always has been. Always has been. And who knows how long it'll take to decode it from the human gene, the human brain, society, induced, whatever you want to call it. They're starting to grow a little bit since it rained on them, and then they got a good little dry spell. Then it rained again. I used to love all kinds of pepper plants, but nowadays I can only eat banana peppers. I can't eat hot peppers. Well, that zucchini over there is really taking off. Actually, they all are doing good. They're all doing good. I don't want to sit here and bore you all forever. Heck, it's already 15 minutes on a cleanup. That's crazy. It's like lately I ain't been able to watch a lot of videos just because my buffering has been terrible. But hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's staying safe. If you have hate in your heart, you're only hurting yourself. Best wishes.